Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. And as you can see, Cardano is still doing absolutely nothing, which is okay because this is supposed to be a fourth wave move down. And as you know, the fourth wave move down is usually the most boring one. So if we are still in a fourth wave and we are not actually in a 1-2 setup, then things are fine. But if we are in a 1-2 setup, well, things are also fine because we're still expecting, to go higher after this. So after this correction is done, which, should put us in this region, let's say between the fourth wave support level, let's say between 81.6 cents and 76.8 cents, and between the second wave support level, which is between 78.3 cents and 72.2 cents. After this is done, we're still expecting a much bigger third wave. And why are we expecting that? Because we have a 1-2 setup and because we had a cross on the bull market support band. So I am aware of the fact that, the price action is not really that interesting because, well, there's not much to say. I mean, I've been making the same video every single day for the last couple of days. But yeah, we're still expecting another high and we could still get it because this 1-2 setup here did not get invalidated and we did not get another low in the C wave. Now keep in mind this could also be counted as some kind of maybe, flat structure for the ABC, meaning this was actually the end of the C wave. And well, if that's the case, we're still expecting ADA to get to around $1.05 to complete the much bigger fifth wave. But as I mentioned already, going down and breaking below the fourth wave support level would also be fine because it would mean we're in a 1-2 setup. And yeah, other than that, we're watching the 4-hour RSI. We'll see what happens there. I will make sure to update you on the Discord server. And let's quickly go on the daily chart because I have not talked about this in a, pretty long time. So here it actually looks a lot more, clear that maybe this is actually already a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just because we did not manage to get above the moving average right there. So it could mean that we are already in the ABC down, and that could put us exactly at the bull market support band and the 200-day moving average. But yeah, there's not much new, information here. And if you go on the weekly, we're about to test the moving average again. I told you this yesterday, but we need to stay above it if we want to continue copying what we did in the previous cycle over here. But even so, we still had a cross on the bull market support band, so I keep saying this every single time, and I keep saying it multiple times in a video, but it doesn't really matter if the price goes down or if it goes up in the short term, because in the long term, about, let's say, 2 months after the cross, that's when we usually go up. So this cross was like, let's say, a month ago, so we're still doing fine, and I'm still expecting the market to drop in September. But I do have to say that right now we're at the end of August and the market has already dropped quite a lot, and Bitcoin is already at the bull market support band. So maybe the correction that we're getting right now is the correction that we were supposed to get in September, and we're just getting it a bit faster because if you look at what happened in the previous 3 cycles, when we had the September correction, as you can see here, before the correction in September, we were going up in August, we were not going down. And the exact same thing happened in 2017 as well. Let me quickly look for it. So where it was over here, as you can see, we were going up in August and then September started and we had a drop, but this time was different. And by the way, speaking of this drop right here in 2017, as you can see, it also looked like we were about to have a cross on the bull market support band, but that turned out to be a fake out. And then after that, we actually used the bull market support band as support, and as you can see, we went to new all-time highs after that. So maybe this is what we're doing, and if it is, it would make sense because, well, even though the drop right here is happening a couple of weeks earlier, it's still pretty much the exact same thing. And let's actually take a look at how much this went down just so we can get an idea. This was a 39% move to the downside, and right now we're only down like 12%, so we could actually drop a bit lower, and if we do, we could get to the 200-day moving average, and that is exactly at $100,000. But I don't think the altcoin market is going to care too much if that happened because, well, at the end of the day, Bitcoin dominance is still not at, these lows right here. So this means that we are probably going higher on the altcoin charts. And yeah, other than that, also Ethereum is at all-time highs right now, or near all-time highs. And I spoke about this multiple times in the past, but each time Ethereum got to the all-time highs in the previous couple of cycles, that's when we actually had an altcoin season. Before that, there was no altcoin season. It only started after Ethereum broke its all-time highs. So that's what we are doing right now. I still think this is gonna get to like at least $6,400, maybe even more. So I don't really see the market getting a huge drop, even if Bitcoin drops, because Ethereum is expected to get, to these highs right here. And if that happens, the entire altcoin market will follow. So we could be close to a scenario where the Bitcoin chart actually goes up only because of Ethereum. And well, I mean, has that happened in the past? Well, actually it did. It happened over here in the previous cycle. So maybe that's what we're doing right now, but in the long term, it's not gonna matter because I am expecting Bitcoin dominance to be at 41% by January. So no matter if Bitcoin drops or if it does not drop, I still think the altcoins will do just fine. Also, I have to mention that on the ADA dominance chart, we just had a cross on the bull market support band over here. And if we are, still following this pattern that I kept talking about a couple of weeks ago, then we could be at this point of the cycle here. We had a cross and then we had a bounce. So maybe that's where we are, and if it is, we are expecting ADA dominance to get to at least 2.4%, and maybe even to, the previous highs of 2021 if everything goes well. So we're still at cycle lows, and I think this is gonna do exactly what it did in the previous cycle. I don't know if it's gonna do it right now or in 2 weeks or in like a month, but it should do it soon, because if it doesn't, and if Bitcoin dominance is gonna be at like 45% or 43% by January, and ADA will not be at all-time highs by then, or at least near all-time highs, I don't really see ADA getting to all-time highs after that, so we should be at all-time highs by January, and if we are not, then wherever ADA will be when Bitcoin dominance, let's say, will be at around 45% or maybe 42% or somewhere between that region, that's where ADA will probably top. So yeah, that's pretty much it, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.